Okay, let's hope this broadcast stays a little bit longer. My internet just ended up going bye-bye on me. So that's not good. All right, how you doing, everybody? Welcome to Scarpad's Chat and Chill. A little bit later than normal. Actually, a little bit earlier than normal because I'm going to be going cooking some dinner for the folks later on. And my internet ended up going belly up on me a few minutes ago. So I'm back, and we'll drop the link in the chat in a little bit in case anybody wants to come on. Just here to do a little chatting about what's going on in the comic book community. Let me drop the link here in case somebody comes in here and wants to join in, since it's a new link. Hey, how's it going, Rod? Welcome to the stream. I had a little bit of technical difficulty, but I'm back. So how's everybody doing? I guess the first thing I want to talk about is an article that I downloaded and read the other day. And it's an article that is called "Slammed by Peers, Comic Retailer Advocates Digital Publishing During Diamond Pause." So let's read a little bit of this and then talk about it a little bit. Okay, so basically this starts off by saying Diamond printed comics will effectively stop shipping to retail stores in April. Retailers are waiting for a response from major publishers like Marvel and DC, whose offices are in the hard-hit New York and LA areas. But one retailer is calling on major publishers to continue creating and publishing new products despite the crisis, suggesting a digital option that could still help retailers, although he admits the idea is unpopular among his fellow retailers. He said, "I tweeted my suggestion, which seems to have had a lot of support from readers, but slammed by retailers," said Ryan Higgins, owner of Comics Conspiracy, probably not a great name, in Sunnyvale, California. His suggestion involves publishers working out a deal with Comixology and Amazon to provide digital codes that retailers can sell to customers with the promise of a free print copy when stores reopen. Geez, where have we heard that before? My idea exactly. Despite the feeling that digital would threaten comic book stores, Higgins said digital sales are roughly 10% of the market, and the option for digital has always been there. Our customers don't want it, by and large, he said. My store is in the heart of a Silicon Valley. My customers work at Apple, Google, Facebook, and other tech companies, and they still want print comics, as most of us do. With no print comics, there's no Comixology because the companies won't make enough just from digital sales. This helps everyone. The idea of selling codes now and delivering printed comics later was specifically criticized yesterday in an interview on Newsrama with well-known retailer Joe Field, owner of Flying Colors Comics in Concord, California. He said the option of publishers continuing to distribute new comic books during the shutdown with or without codes was unacceptable. Field also just suggested the industry should stick together during the shutdown and encourage readers to support their local comic shops that are open by purchasing existing comic books. Well, of course, nobody's open. Higgins is concerned, however, that a lack of new books might mean customers will dump comic book reading altogether. If you stop those Wednesday customers from coming in for 6 to 8 weeks, many of them might stop buying comics. I don't think that's true. This break could be the thing they need. According to Higgins, the digital codes will allow stores to continue selling something new each week, and it will give publishers the ability to predict the number of physical comics that will eventually need to print and ship. I understand the fear of customers switching to digital and abandoning the comic book stores, but at this point, we literally can't sell new comics. If Marvel and DC are going to continue to publish their books through Comixology with no option to support stores, that will push piracy even higher and hurt stores even more and give us a temporary option. Higgins said his own store is currently closed to the public with delivery and limited pickup only. Let's go on. Higgins said the silence from Diamond, Marvel, and DC has been frustrating. Assuming Diamond is able to reopen in a few weeks with the printers closed, best case, we'll see new comics in 6 weeks. All invoices due to Diamond must be allowed to be put on hold until shipments out there in the U.S. are reopened. I think we can survive this, blah, blah, blah. So he's basically suggesting exactly what I had suggested. which is get digital codes for these books, allow online sales to go ahead and pre-sell the comics, take the money for it, and provide the comic codes now so we can read them. That are redeemable on multiple sources. He's saying, if comic book stores are open, you can go in and purchase the codes, but then of course they're not going to be. Nobody's going to be open during this pandemic. So there has to be an online option, which Marvel and DC has. And Comixology has through for the indies for certain things. Also, they could buy them on the publishers' websites. These counts could go toward the future orders. They know how much to print when it does reopen, and we get the comics now through digital. I think it's a great idea. Now, since this article has come in, I think DC talked a couple of days ago concerning that they're looking into options. They're going to extend out the period retailers can send back their books through, I think, July, and they may extend it further if need be. But this is where they were kind of vague. They're going to go ahead and look into other options for shipping their books. They're going to explore, their license with Diamond. What happens if Diamond either fails, falls apart, or can't, provide the books. So at least they're saying that. They haven't come up to what they're going to do to push these other channels to get the books out. But at least DC has said, where Marvel has been silent, we're going to go ahead and explore other options. So, that we hear this week at some point what those other options might be. But they have to do something. I mean, this is going to go on longer than they thought. The printers aren't going to be up and able to print for quite some time. And I think to totally let these new comics go out of people's view for, potentially 12 to 15, 16 weeks is just crazy. So I hope they come up with an option. I hope they look into providing digital codes and then taking orders so that later on the people can get the books they want. Not the best option, but it's an option. So we'll see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen with that. Everybody is pretty silent on it, other than just to say we're not going to ship this week and we're not going to give codes to the digital sources. And that's pretty much all we've really heard. So hopefully you guys, when you watch this later on the rewind, leave in your comments below what you think should be done. And once again, I put the link in the chat. Anybody wants to jump on here and talk about it, discuss it, and other things, just chat. Go ahead and do that. In the meantime, let's take a look at what I thought was some of the best books for the week. What I've read. I haven't read a lot. As everybody knows, I buy my books digitally, mostly for the independents. I don't buy a lot of the mainstreams digitally. I have a lot of those coming to me in the mail, so I haven't read a lot of the current mainstream books. But I did read a lot of digital this week. I think the only mainstream book I read this week last week was Deceased issue 2, which was good. But let's talk about what came out this week and what I read. In indies, in non-indies, I read Basketful of Heads. I read the latest issue of On the Stump, The Kill Lock, and let's see what else I've read. Maybe about it. I would say probably of everything I read this week, I would say my best book of the week for the indies goes to, and let me just be clear, Basketball Heads is not a indie, it's a DC title, but I kind of consider an indie the Joe Hill stuff because it really is set us apart from DC. So I clumped that in. But I would say probably the best book I read this week would be On the Stump. It continues. It's really fantastic story about an alternate Washington and where cage fighting and wrestling is used on this great stage that looks like a tree stump, where they fight out, not to the death yet, but where they fight out to pass bills and legislation. And there's a certain cabal that wants to have the ban or the lift on, the matches not being death matches. They want to, basically bring in fighting to the death, and they want that legislation to go through. So while we get some fighting in here, we also get some backgrounds on the political maneuverings, which happens to include excessive extreme violence to get this ban lift. And, we get some fantastic artwork here. Let's see if I can zoom that down so you can take a look at it. Some really good artwork. And at the end of episode issue 1, just like on the end of issue 2, we get some really extreme violence here, as very extreme violence as they fight and kill to to pass this legislation. So, On the Stump is a fantastic read. I'm really enjoying it. It's a great satire on Washington without getting overtly too political. It's a great book if you like the cage fighting wrestling scene. It really is a good book. Now, my runner-up would be Basketful of Heads. Basketful of Heads, I believe there's one more issue maybe to go in this arc. I don't know if they're coming back after that, but Basketful of Heads continues on, and it was really good this week. It's winding up to a climax. Something big is going to happen in the next book, and I can't wait to see that. So that's probably my pick of the week would be On the Stump, followed by Basketful of Heads. I did like the Kill Lock. The Kill Lock, I think next issue might be the last one for that. Maybe a couple more. Kill Lock took a step back, I think, in artwork this issue. The artwork wasn't quite as good as what it had been in the past, but it was pretty decent, and the story was good. So I'm still enjoying the Kill Lock. I'm looking forward to finishing that up. Let's go ahead and drop the link again in case anybody wants to jump in. Say hello. No, Dylan said Dylan says give him 10 minutes. He'll be on. He's showering. Rod was in here. How you doing, Rod? And so that's my books of the week. So other than that, not much is really happening here in Massachusetts. They're possibly joining the ban as everybody else. I know there was going to be like a quarantine. That didn't happen. So hopefully everything will be fairly calm this week. Now, what I'm going to do every week, too, during the chats here is I'm going to go into my collection and pick a random pull of the week to talk about and read. And this week, the random pull of the week is from 1988, a book called The Saga of the Submariner. This was a 12-issue series that started in 1988 that basically rebooted the Submariner line. I think after this book came out, I think they came out with Namor, Prince of Atlantis, which this book, and I think Princes of Atlantis set him up so he could be kind of like a businessman. In addition to be the feared Prince of Atlantis, he's also a businessman. And this book is a retelling of the origin. I kind of enjoyed it. This was written by Roy Thomas, and I believe his wife. And I like the artwork. This is typical 80s artwork in this book. But there's some nice panels and very good coloring. I mean, I love the paper. Marvel could take a page from going back in time and getting some of this good paper. They're not on decent paper anymore. But the coloring in this book is really, really nice. Who remembers the Columbia Tape CD Club? I think I got my entire library from these people. But this talks about basically what we see here is the queen, the princess of Atlantis, Finn, coming aboard a ship, falling in love with the sea captain, which happens in about 2 panels, and of course squirting out little Namor. I think we got a guest. Hey, Bubs, how's it going?
Hey, what's going on, Scarpet? I've been back here for a half hour, man. Why wouldn't you let me on?
You have not. Come on. I know, because my internet went down. I was trying to fix the fucking shit for half an hour.
Oh, man.
So there's some panels from that. So basically, this first book goes through, the origin of Namor being born, and then I think it jumps ahead in the next book to where he's older and taking his place as Prince of Atlantis. I've always liked the Submariner, even back when he was in the book with Tales to Astonish, with the Hulk and all that. I was always a Submariner fan, probably because I was a big Star Trek fan, and he always reminded me of Mr. Spock. So I think that's why I kind of liked him. Hey, Perry, how's it going? Yo, yo, yo. Batcave. How you doing? So that's what my pull of the week is. I read this, and it's number 1 in a 12-issue series, Submariner. I can get this cheap. So it's a good book. And before you jumped on, I was talking about, nice. Before you jumped on, I was talking about a little bit about the digital stuff and what's coming up this week for comics. I don't know if you saw the announcement by DC that they're kind of looking into, for the first part of it was saying that they're going to allow comics to be returned for up to July or August from retailers, and also that they're looking into alternative methods to ship comics apart from Diamond. But of course, if they can't get them printed, I'm not sure exactly what they're going to be shipping. So maybe we'll hear more this week.
Well, what are they saying about the digital comics? I know some people were wondering if they were going to do digital.
They didn't say anything really about digital. The article that I read was this guy basically had the same idea as I did, which is basically provide the digital codes now and the books later. So come up with a system. He was talking about coming up with a system where you could walk into your LCS, later, buy the digital code, go home, get your book, and then later on, get the book from the LCS. Well, you can't do that. No else is open. So that doesn't make too much sense. But what they're going to have to do is, allow you to buy your books from the online sources you're buying them now. Buy them from, Midtown, Discount Comic Book Service. Buy them, prepay for them, get a code now, enter that code into Comixology, Marvel Unlimited, or DC, and get your book, read it, and then automatically get a shipped copy to you when the book is ready to be released.
Right.
Ultimately, I think that's the way to go, but it seems like they don't really have the infrastructure in place to do that, or they can't all get on board. Marvel hasn't come out and said anything about what they're going to be doing.
Right.
Other than they're not going to be doing digital comics. So at least DC has come out and said, well, we're looking into what we might be able to do until then. And Barry says, put all new books on hold. Well, this guy in this article had an interesting point, and I think it's true, that, this could go 12 to 16 weeks. And while there are a lot of people like us, which will always go back to comics, there's a lot of people that probably would just say, fuck it. I ain't going to read those. I'm done. I'll move on. There's so many other things vying for attention now. Movies, TV, Funko Pops, shit like that. That some people will say, well, gee, these comics aren't available. I got this money. Well, I don't know if they will in this environment. I'm going to go spend it on Funkos. I'm going to go spend it on video games. I'm going to spend it on something else.
If it were me, and I was them, right? And I know that this isn't a popular probably not a popular opinion amongst collectors, especially those who insist on only reading floppies. I mean,
No, I lost your mic, Bubs.
Oh, sorry. This microphone, it has a mute button at the very base.
Probably a bad
Right
place.
there, that little red button, and it's not a physical like analog button; it's a digital button.
Right.
So all you have to do is touch it. It's touch sensitive. Mm-hmm. So anytime I touch my mic at the base, and you always got to grab it by the base to get a firm hold, don't you? And so every time I do that, it mutes me. So anyway, I think I know it's not popular, but to me, I think that the best thing that the comic companies could do for themselves would be to offer a free month, with subscription, first month free of Marvel Unlimited and DC's whatever their version of Unlimited is, and just offer that free. Keep the books coming out on time. That way people don't lose. I mean, there's a lot of books that are only 2 or 3 issues deep. Who's going to care about that storyline in 12 months, So go ahead and put them out, keep them out on time on digital, and have a smaller stock, because you won't need to print as many of these books available when the shops reopen. And if the demand is there and people still order them, ship them. And if not, then don't. But, I think that to me is what I would do.
The other thing they could do is they could do as you said, offer, Marvel Unlimited, maybe lessen the windows. Like I think at Marvel Unlimited, 6 months to get new books. Maybe make it 3 months. I kind of understand they wouldn't want to put all their new books up there because obviously then no one's probably going to buy them. And the problem for DC is DC Universe is not just a comic app; it's also an app for TV shows and stuff. So they're not going to give you that because they're not going to give you everything. Comics is a very little portion of that Universe app. So but it's a tough thing.
I mean, you're talking about people making changes anyway. So if DC wants to separate the comics portion and say, okay, we're going to offer a lower priced comics only edition of this app that only gives you access to the comics, they can do that.
I still think
that's a couple of clicks away, The
way to go is, I can understand people don't like digital. Even if people don't like digital, it's a temporary stopgap. If you have to read digital for 3-4 months until you get the paper copies, it's still better than nothing.
I agree.
And the link is in the chat, guys. So if you want to jump on.
Yeah, the IG link didn't work because he had to drop out and come back in.
My internet went down, so I had to redo the stream.
Oh, I'll show you this. Here's, I think, my only Submariner book. I had some Tales. Is it Tales to Astonish, right? That he was in?
Yeah.
I think I have some Tales to Astonish, but I sold them all. What up, Dylan?
What up, boss? How you doing, man?
Doing pretty good.
Good to see you, man.
Chillaxing with the pad here.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, my internet kind of went belly up, but who knows? Sundays are bad days for me. I always lose internet for some reason.
Hey, hit the third box down below you.
The third box?
Yeah.
Well, you don't like being this close?
No, I just to make it look better for him.
No, I like it. It looks better. It's better for showing off stuff, anyways.
This way?
Yeah. When you show a book, it's not getting cut off.
Oh, well, that's what you do. Is you close. Well, it does cut off a little bit, but let me fix mine. I was just letting you know. I didn't know if you knew you could change that.
Oh yeah, I know. I can do anything. You can do this. I can be big and say "fuck you" all small.
Yeah. Well, you hit the right corner and you can make yourself big. Go hit the right corner. And it just made it, whoever's right corner box you hit, they go big. That's not it. You would click us all out, and then you would just be.
Oh big. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, like that. Yeah.
Well, you settled that, didn't you?
Don't tell me how to do things. Don't
like that, he's
how to do things.
The kid with the ideas, no more.
No, but I think if you provide a digital code for these books, they can redeem them on Comixology and then the other apps, and then just when you later on you just ship the books.
How the hell you do that?
Yeah, I agree. I think that to me is the best way to do it. That's the way and I know people don't like it, but it brings back a few people into the digital part that were reluctant. Maybe they'll get used to it if they're forced to use it a little bit for a month. Because that's, I mean, when I switched over to,
but I still think they need to also offer a two-tier pricing system.
Yeah.
Cover price gets you the book and the digital code. If you want digital only, make the thing half price. Make the
yeah,
cover half price.
I'm not big on the combination, the digital code and the book. To me, you separate that. You have the book, stop including these digital codes. First of all, nobody uses them, or hardly anybody uses them, because if someone's going to get the book and keep it for collector value, then they're not going to peel off the sticker to get the digital code.
Well,
So-
what I'm saying is you don't even have to put the digital code in the book.
Right. I say leave that out. I agree.
When
Leave
you
that
do
completely
this,
out.
when you buy it, you get a digital code mailed to you or in your invoice with the book. Amazon does that now for stuff.
Yeah.
And that way the book is just the book. It can be on the shelf, and if you want the book and you only get the book, you don't get the digital code. Well, that's the thing though too, is how do you get the digital code? If you're gonna do the digital code with the book when you buy it online,
I don't think you need that. Honestly, I don't think you need to do both.
Yeah.
I think if you want to buy the book, you buy the book. I mean, first of all, the books are so expensive already. You know, if you're going to buy a $5 book, then it's because you really want to hold that floppy.
Yeah, but how many people want? I mean, I know me. I buy a cardstock variant. I buy a nice $5 or $10 cardstock variant of Detective Comics.
Yeah.
I may not want to fuck that book up because those
Right.
cardstock variants,
That,
the moment you touch them,
yeah.
They're all
Or
fucking
open
different.
them, you get a
no
crease.
matter what you do to them. So maybe
That's
I
right.
want to read that in digital and leave it in the bag.
Yeah. Well,
know,
you
and
can't
that's why I
you
think
can't
it's
read
nice to
digital.
have the digital
DC
code
doesn't
on
give
it.
you digital codes.
See,
DC
that's why
doesn't do.
I think if you took,
Only Marvel.
yeah, Marvel, if you took the book
Which is fucked up.
and just separated them, and I know what you're saying, that you want to be able to also read it. But if the price of the book that you just bought was $5 or was some sort of variant or whatever, maybe it was $10, but the digital code was only $2 to read it, you would probably pay the $2 for the digital code if it was a book you really wanted to read, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I
I mean,
mean,
the
just
thing is, if you buy, the whole idea now is if you're buying the book, you're going to get the digital code. You just
Right.
get the book when it's available.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then if you want to buy just the digital, you just buy the digital and you get a break on it. You get it for half price.
DC should fucking do the digital codes. I mean, that's just cool. Like for Marvel's sake, if I ever went out of town and there's a couple books I can put in, I can use the code because I already own them, but I don't want to take my collection with me or take like books to get them fucked up. I can put them in the code and just read them digital.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't you like to have, like, I know I would like to have all the books I just paid for and bought. You guys frozen?
No, I was listening.
I think Dylan's frozen.
Dylan's frozen.
I think
Maybe he's just really shocked. He just,
all the books I
Dylan.
buy, I'd love to have a digital copy of them on my iPad as soon as I buy them. So if I have the option of taking my entire library with me, that would be nice. But somebody's got to, I think somebody's got to crack the code on this, and then everybody's got to, hold on a second. Let's pull out bad Dylan and put in good Dylan.
I am internet
hey.
Yeah.
like, messed up.
So
I think it's the internet on the weekends are just bad because everybody's using it.
Yeah.
I got an idea, but tell me if it makes no sense or not. Okay. So the idea is, what if you had more of a subscription service as opposed to a buy the book service? So in other words, you sign up for Marvel Unlimited.
Well, that's what it is, really.
Well, are they giving you every book?
No. Well, yes. They give the Marvel pretty much gives you the entire catalog except for the new 6 months out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you just give them the book that the day it comes out, you have access to read the book, then I think that would be a subscription I would be more interested in.
I think they feel, though, that would kill print.
Print's already dead. I mean, I hate to be that way, but
I'm not saying I agree with that, but I think that's what they feel. I agree. I mean, I'd like to see that because basically, if you stop paying them the $10 a month, you don't get access to those books. So why not?
Yeah,
I think right now the print market and the digital market are two very different markets. There's people that only like print and won't read digital, or there's people that love digital and won't read print. So why not give the digital people the option of getting all the new books all at once for $10 a month or whatever, right? And then that would solve everything, because then the print people for the 4 months who are on crisis lockdown could subscribe for 4 months to read the book and then drop it if they want to.
I think the problem with the digital print, honestly, is the price. They're asking too much for a new book. It's too expensive. You cannot tell me, if we're already going to sit there and complain about the price of a floppy, right? And say, look, the print version costs too much. You're telling me you can't put out a book like Alterna does for $2 a book. You have to pay all these licensors and all these things. So fine. $5, $7, $9 a book. It's outrageous.
Yeah.
But you can't tell me that and then tell me, oh, and the digital version is $9 too.
Right. Oh yeah, I agree. I mean, that's to me, that's the 100% main reason, other than I do like some that they haven't totally embraced digital.
Right.
And I tell you right now, if the books were at least 50% off cover,
yep,
I would buy the majority of my books digital. Now there would still be stuff I buy paper. I would always buy Batman paper because I love Batman. I'd always buy all my Star Trek books paper, and maybe some of the Star Wars stuff. But a lot of stuff I would probably buy digital, because let's face it. How many of us buy books and then stick them in a box and never read them again?
I mean, that's very true. There's no doubt about that. And to your point earlier, that is why some people want to buy the book, is so that they can preserve it and stick it and never read it. And that's the whole point of it. A cover buy,
that's I'll buy a cardstock. I'll buy a DC cardstock and I'll buy the main cover. Read the main cover.
Well, and then people always say too that, I can sell that book. Let's face it. This is what it is. It's people's investor brain kicking in and saying, someday in the future, I might have a fucking $1,500 book on my hands from this fucking Batman 89, and I don't want to give up that chance of being able to flip that. But how many people will actually flip it? I know. Right. I'm not. If I Batman 89 $2,000, will I sell it? Well, yeah, I probably would, because that book is not good. But that doesn't happen all that much. That's like saying, I'm going to be a millionaire from scratching a lottery ticket. That's a 1 in 1 million chance. But people don't want to give up that millionth chance.
I give it up. I ain't worried about it.
But I understand it. I mean, I don't want print books to go away, but I like, they got to do something. They got to come up with something, some happy medium.
I don't want them to go away either. And I know I'm just trying to look at it from a publisher standpoint more than a collector standpoint, because as a collector, honestly, there are so many awesome books and so many awesome storylines that is, I could mull through the Golden Age, Silver Age, and Bronze Age, and I'll probably be happy for the rest of my life. I don't need new books to read necessarily. There's plenty of books and stories that I still haven't gotten to. And with as much time as I have, which is not, infinite, then it works for my life. I don't need
and here's another thing I'm thinking. I'm thinking about big, especially now with everything that's going on with people not getting paychecks. I mean, that could have a bigger effect.
Yeah.
I mean, I hear about a lot of this stuff. People sitting down saying, well, I'm going to do this Funkos, do this. Some people, 4 weeks from now might be struggling to eat, never mind buying a comic book and buying a Funko Pop, They might not have a place to live. So that's going to make it difficult. But I'm struggling when I'm thinking, especially for indie comics, and follow me along here, right?
I love good comics.
Good comics like Something's Killing the Children and Folklords and stuff. But let's face it, the majority of indie books are 5 and 6 issue books.
Yeah.
Which means when the trade comes out, you got the whole story.
Mm-hmm.
And something like Something is Killing the Children, or even Time. Look at the other one that came out with the cardstock, the one Time and Again, or what was that? Once in Time or whatever. That was a $5 cover. Now these trades come out, and you go to half price trade, you can get a trade for like $9, $10.
Yep.
I'm starting to think that
Image
spending $25 to get the whole run for. I can get them for $9 if I wait a month.
Dude,
I know you start feeling silly
man.
after a while, don't you? For being, you stop feeling like an adult.
You can get
Like,
this
that's
on
the problem
Amazon for $6.
I mean, as an adult, you should be able to wait and say, "No, I'm going to wait, and I can read it all at once and make a
I like
sound
individual
financial
properties,
decision." But
even I was even listening to some of these people
You got
saying,
someone backstage, okay.
especially these books that don't come out on time. I'm reading the story, and I can't remember what the fuck the last issue was about.
Yeah.
And some of these
like-
books just read better when you sit down and read the whole
And
trade.
trade.
And
and they're
Because-
easier
well,
to
yeah.
hold and keep and pack around.
It's
They're
like
not delicate.
Netflix, man. You get to binge the whole thing. It's
Yeah,
like,
that's a good way
you
to
know,
see
it's like
I like
Netflix. And soon I think trades will become the big one, at least. If like, I'd say I like trade. I go trades way before I go digital because I still
Yeah,
just
I
want to have
agree.
the book, you know.
yeah.
But trades, man.
Plus trades sit on a bookshelf a lot easier than books.
Yeah, and it's exactly. But once you get the once they go down in price, like I don't really like paying 20 for a trade sometimes. I kind of like to wait to 10 to 15. I really like 10 to 12. Honestly.
Well, if you're
Like, I
going
got
to stock
once
trades,
in future.
stock
Once
trades,
in
anything that
future,
comes
well,
out the first week is 50% off.
Yeah.
So there's no trade over
What
like this
website?
month here. What's that?
What website?
In stock trades.
Oh yeah. See, yeah, I like to wait.
Well, even Amazon.
$12.
Amazon's pretty cheap.
I
too.
got one in Future Volume 1, $12, and I really would have liked to have them in singles, but I'm excited to read that in trade. I'm gonna I might start paying. I might try to cut back on a few titles and just wait it. It's like Gideon Falls. I ordered all 3 trades. I'm waiting on Volume 4, and I added it to the poll. And I was debating. I'm like, should I just get the trades, or should I, because I'll have all 4 volumes in trade, but then I'm gonna add it, like issue 20 whatever on singles. I don't know. Should I just stick with trades or should I go singles? Because now, once in the future, Volume 2, I ordered issue 7. So it's weird. I don't know. Should I just stick with trades for the whole series or should I go in between? I don't know.
What is up?
It's going on.
What's up, Dylan?
My
Sometimes
dog.
it's hard to wait for the trade, and sometimes, mixing
boy,
and matching,
Blue.
like that.
Blue, you're my boy.
So how goes it, Motorfogle?
Oh, living my best life, trying to keep my hands clean and wash my ass, shit like that.
Wash your ass.
Did you say wipe your ass? There's no toilet paper.
No, wash your ass, man. With all that shortage of toilet paper, man.
Yeah.
Got to scrub
Keep
down
that ass
below.
washed.
I'm lucky. I got a 24-pack in the closet, and I'm holding on to that baby like it's liquid gold.
Yeah.
Hey, what I was gonna say about what you guys are talking about is that basically I posted in the chat, is just basically fear of missing out. And in comics, I mean, we have kind of the issue of there being like you not knowing what's going to be key until after it's out and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
if you wait to let's say pick it up in a trade, that takes away, I think, some of the collectability. So when a lot of why we're in this is to be collectors. So the rarity of like the treasure hunt of finding a book that not everyone has.
That is nice too.
Well, I think another thing we're overlooking too, by going trade, is, let's face it, a book like Something is Killing the Children would never have an issue 7 if we all waited for the trade, because they based continuing that story on how popular it was by sales.
Yeah. Issue 1 went
And if
crazy.
we're all waiting for the trade, then those books would just end and we'd never get another chapter of it.
That's
Yeah.
a really good point. I hadn't thought about that at all.
That's
Especially
why.
on the independents.
Yeah, that's why I feel like more like the big 2 is wait, unless there's one that you just really love, keep a couple of your favorite on the big 2, but other than that, I feel like just wait it out on trade. But the thing is, they charge more, I think, than trade. Indie titles, they do cheaper trades than Marvel and DC, I feel like. But
Yeah,
Some
well, I mean,
companies-
something like Mad Cave or Aftershock,
yeah,
those, I think,
they're a little bit, they're like 15, 18
I think you're
bucks.
hurting those companies more by trade waiting than you would be by bagging the individual.
Exactly, and that's
Yeah.
why now I try to get as many indies as I can. I'm
But
like
I don't
like
think
how
that-
Barry
that-
used to be.
I don't think that's true for DC and Marvel, because DC and Marvel always has they have their plans laid out. They know what these books are coming out.
Right.
They know
Yeah.
they start here and they end there, and then that's it.
Exactly.
But that's not true with the indie. So I understand that point. It's a good point.
Yeah. That's why I've been getting a few of the trades, like Gideon Falls. That's why I was like, man, should I just go to, like, I want to keep reading it. So I'm picking up the singles when the new arc starts. But I was debating if I should just wait and get volume 5. But, you know, that's a great point, man. They definitely, it's good to hop on at least issue 1, like the first story arc, because then, like, you know, because then if not, I understand, get the first story arc at least in singles, and then if you really need to save the money, then get the rest in trade.
I was kind of going to say the opposite. Like if someone who's, let's say like you got like a person that's not like us, that's not like a diehard collector or like not really into comics outside of maybe a few characters or something, I would say that trades are better for them because like I think that's the biggest like barrier to entry into coming into like the comic book hobby is like not knowing where to begin or like not knowing what stories go together or runs go together and stuff like that, and kind of like things being piecemeal. Like a lot
That's
of
what I
times,
did with Saga. I bought all the trades. I started with trades, but then I got into singles.
yeah,
Because I wanted
then you'll
more.
know
I
what
didn't wanna
singles
keep
you
waiting.
want, like which ones are the ones that you really want to own.
Right.
You gotta
But
wait like
it's
you
also
gotta wait
hard
like
for
6
if you
months
got
for the
really
next
hot
trade.
series and they sell out. Sometimes you go in and you buy a couple issues, you can't get some of the back issues. You can't get issue
Yeah.
3.
And that's what
Yeah.
sucks, because then you got to buy a trade just for 1 or 2 issues. But yeah, 'cause I went to trade at first with Saga and Captain America, Brubaker stuff. But then I was like, man, I didn't know that Saga took like a 2-year hiatus or whatever, how long it's been on now. I ordered like volume 9 and I'm like, damn, I don't have to wait like who knows how long. So I went into the comic shop because I was like, I don't want to have to wait 6 months for the next trade, because that's the thing that sucks about trades. Once I get caught up on Gideon Falls, I still gotta wait until the new arc comes out for them to release volume 4, because I don't know when I'm gonna get volume 4.
Well, I have a buddy that what he does is he reads the books and then he will sell the individual issues as soon as a trade comes out.
Oh, really?
But whatever he can sell them for, sometimes it's more money.
Yeah.
And then he just flips, buys a trade, and then moves on.
Yeah,
You can do
the
that
trade
too.
is always cheaper than however many issues. You're always saving at least $5 or $10 on the trade, which
Yeah,
is nice for people trying to save money.
Right.
Shit,
Well,
I
plus,
got
you don't bag your. Chances are you're not bagging and boarding the trade.
yeah.
You
If I,
know, putting it in a box,
do.
so it's cheaper.
I do, because I don't have
Yeah.
a
I
good
do.
bookshelf. So
That's what I
I
mean,
bag
too.
and board my trades and put them
Me
in the
too.
boxes.
I gotta get Silver Age bags, but I want to bag and board mine because I just just to keep them nice. I'm
I
not
bag
like,
and board most of my trades, so
Oh, you do?
yeah, I treat them pretty much just
I
like
know I
normal.
was saying it's like if Amazon sends it a little fucked up, but the thing is, I mean, like if like the corner gets dinged or something, like I got a trade that like the whole back folded over, and then the whole back is like got a huge fold over now, and that kind of pissed me off. But if it got a little dinged or something, that's not like the end of the world. I might complain to Amazon just to try to get a couple bucks back, but I would be more mad if like my single issue got all dinged up and stuff than a trade, just because this is a little bit more sturdier than a single issue. You know what I'm saying? But
Well, it's because the trade is like the ultimate reader copy. I mean,
yeah,
that's why we buy them. Like trades wouldn't have a market if like there wasn't a reader market, meaning like people who just buy books just specifically to be reader copies. So
man, I'm on issue 6 of this right now. This shit is so good. It needs to be a TV show. It needs to be a TV show, like, or a movie or something. I'd say I'll leave all mine out. I guess, I mean, I don't know. Trade, yeah, because sometimes you notice like trades, they have first printings on them. I was like, I wonder if like that ever, if trades, if it goes out of stock, I guess maybe the first print will be worth money.
I like some of the hardcover books. I
I think it's
bought
more omnis. Omnis.
yeah, omnibuses.
put out those.
What they call are whales when they go out of print and you can't get them anymore.
Yeah, I like the hardcovers that DC puts out sometimes, like some of the Batman hardcovers.
Oh yeah, I got a Joker. I got the Lee Bermejo Joker hardcover, and that's a real nice book.
Yeah, they're a little more expensive, but they're nice. You know,
Oh
what are you doing there, Bubs?
He's running for president, man. Shit.
I know. I was wondering. I was like, who's been doing
Country's
that?
going through a difficult time right now, man. Shit.
I'm telling you, this is why I rock every day when I leave the house.
Uh-huh.
Shit, pretty soon you're gonna need the fucking full get up, man. Like
The whole
fucking
hazmat. Heck yeah.
suit and shit.
For
I
real.
know I got that box in the other day from Midtown Comics, right straight from the middle of New York. They had a
Oh shit.
I was holding it and rubbing it and stuff, and I had to go hose down.
Man, I would have opened it. I would have opened it like with a hazmat suit on and shit. Fucking spraying Lysol in there and
Not good.
It's too bad too. It was a nice box. I would have saved it for sending out comics because it was a thick box that had one of those bubble wrap coffins inside. It was
Nice.
beautiful. But I
are
had
they trying to
coffins.
tell you something? No, I'm just
It
joking.
broke my heart.
Here's your cardboard coffin. Yeah, man, it's getting crazy here, dude. Like, pretty much all our stores are shut down, and you can't go anywhere. So
I got to stock
we're on
up on
travel
some Arizona
advisory.
tea,
Yeah,
man.
pretty much the same way every place.
I bought like 4 gallons, and now I'm running low. I got to get some more. I should have bought. They had
You
like
want
4
Gatorade?
gallons. Arizona green tea.
Wait, you buy it pre-made?
No, I buy like this.
Well, that's stuff a
Yeah,
rocket.
that's pre-made.
Oh, why? What do you mean?
I was like, you buy tea pre-made.
Yeah, what I'm supposed to make it always? I'm lazy.
Dylan, I thought you were pissing in that bucket.
Hell no, man, that's my drink.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it always can.
I thought you put it down there for live.
I
live
should have
streams.
bought. There was 4 gallons, and I only bought 2 of them. I should have bought all 4 just to
Yeah,
stock
the
up.
rest are gonna be gone, man. When you get back.
Okay, well, that was like a week ago, so yeah, I just wasn't trying. I was thinking like they're gonna stock up. Arizona, man, they got warehouses full of Arizona.
You got no FOMO.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like. I tell you, with excuse to Jim Mint, I can't buy omnibuses. They're just too friggin' heavy.
Yeah, they're big.
They're uncomfortable to read. They
Yeah,
fall apart with bad glue,
I could not have one
I
of
mean-
those in my lap.
and they're too expensive.
They're like
too
50
expensive.
pounds, man.
They're not easy. Like like we were talking about the good thing about trades. Like a trade, I could take with me, travel with it. It's easy to throw in a bag somewhere. It's easy
Exactly.
to carry, to read. Like
Right.
one of those.
You get a little battle damage, that's fun.
That's something that you buy and put in like a fine library or some shit. Like,
Yeah,
it's not to be read. It's meant to just sit on a shelf and like look pretty or be like a conversation piece. You're not really supposed to read it, carry it around, or use it.
Dude, you gotta like stretch the spine and shit. Otherwise, you're gonna.
Well, yeah,
warp it.
and DC has been caught like making some really shitty omnibuses of just the glue literally just disintegrates off the spine the moment you open it up. So
Yeah, like I said, they're like art pieces. They're not really like something.
they are
you
nice. They
use.
do look impressive on a shelf though, but
Yeah, it's like something a rich guy buys and has on his shelf, and he's like, "Check it out! I got the omnibus for like fucking Iron Man."
I couldn't ever see sitting on a chair trying to read the thing.
Yeah, but don't read it. I mean, but
Yeah,
I guess
don't
a rich
open
guy-
it. It's gonna break.
Yeah, but I guess a rich guy, he's like probably got like multiple copies, so he's like, "Go ahead, read it. Treat
Who wants to
yourself."
have that in their lap? It's too big.
Treat. Hey, well, I guess now with this whole lockdown shit, you got more than enough time to get through like 1,000 pages. So I mean,
Yeah.
shit. I guess omnibuses are coming into their
Yeah, if you can get them shipped to you.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. that is
Amazon,
true.
Amazon, luckily though, is still doing shit because I was like, man, I might have to order a couple
Yeah,
trades,
but they're delayed like a month. They're
but you
shipping-
can still get trades on
That's for
Amazon.
Prime people too. So if you're not Prime,
It
good luck.
depends what you're ordering. Some things will say it might take a month, but most of the time, like I'll get some. If I order something, it's gonna come within the week still.
Yeah, it depends what you're ordering. Like
Yeah.
yesterday, I was needing a new. I just got a new laptop, right?
Mhm.
Nice.
So, and my old
That's
laptop couldn't do crap. So the new one's got like a bunch of graphics and stuff. So I was like, well,
Really? I think
Yeah, I
mine
need to
has a graphics card too.
I need to get like a game controller, right? So
Yeah,
I went
nice.
on Amazon to pick one up, and they had like 10 that were listed. If you click the Prime only button, which is what I usually click, just so I can get it faster, and they were all delayed till April 18th minimum.
Really,
Earliest ship date said
Yeah.
April 18th.
Well, it's because they're
Like,
not shipping stuff from China.
and
Well,
people.
no, it's
yeah.
because it's because the Prime people are so backed up with the.
Well,
orders
you
now.
have to have Prime as well.
Well,
I
most
took,
of the
off,
people
I
use
took that
Amazon.
off, and the regular free shipping is going to be here Tuesday.
Wow.
So it's like,
Wow.
So now
It's
you're gonna
not
even
realize
prime, you
They
know,
have it
but-
in a warehouse in the States.
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, man. Everything went FUBAR.
I'm really
Yeah.
mad. I should have got more Arizona, man.
So what do you guys think about all of the
Those
movies?
2 gallons I left behind are killing me.
What do you
Yeah,
guys
but
think?
your teeth will
They're
thank you,
haunting
Dylan. Your
me.
teeth will thank
They're
you.
haunting me in my night. I drink just water and tea though. That's all I drink.
I tell
Yeah,
you, buddy, when I used to work,
Hey, the tea is way better than drinking pop though, because I used to drink
Heck yeah.
a shit pop. But it's
well,
still got sugar in it. I know, but
the
tea is,
check the
it
sugar
is better.
content out, Dylan. There's a lot of sugar in that.
Oh, I know.
But
You
I
can
had
have
a
diabetes,
buddy at
son.
work that drank nothing but Red Bull.
17
and
grams in a
he was
gallon.
like
That's
22
not bad
years old.
compared
He
to a
lost
can
all
of
his
Coke.
teeth.
A can
Yeah.
of Coke's got like 32, man. I mean, 17 grams is still a lot, but
I got a
it's like
question.
cut in half of what I used to drink, Coca-Cola and stuff.
How do you guys feel about a few things? The first thing is the decision of like all the theaters to like early release all these movies on like streaming services like Bloodshot and stuff like that. And do you think that's going to be like
I
that
just
going
wish-
forward? And how do you
Ooh,
guys feel about the like delay of all of like the content basically?
I
Like
just wish that they were putting Black Widow out on
Well,
fucking
yeah, they
stream,
won't.
but they'll never do it. They're gonna wait because they want to make all that money. But the
I
thing
mean,
is,
so far,
depending
so
how
far, all
long
the
this
movies
lasts,
they
they
put
might
out-
have no choice because people aren't gonna feel safe. Even when this ends, people still aren't gonna feel safe for a while. People are
Right,
still gonna be very cautious. You know what I'm saying? So the box office is still gonna be cut and fucked up because of it. Oh
Nice.
my god! I thought you really did that too. Yeah.
Well, so far,
No
all the
matter
movies
what,
they
it's
put
gonna
out
get cut.
have been movies that weren't great box office successes. Like Call of the Wild was a bomb.
Onward
All,
is on
you
there,
know,
Bloodshot's on there.
yeah, they were a bomb.
Well, you know,
The
the
Jedi movies on there too.
Well,
only
the
movies
thing, though,
though
is
that have
that-
come out were in theaters for like a couple weeks. They got
Right.
a couple weeks in the theater, so that helped. But
But
it,
these studios put these movies out like they're doing us a huge favor. We're doing it for you. We're
yeah,
gonna keep you safe. Okay, fine. But then you fucking put the movie out, rental only. Can't buy
20.
it.
Isn't it 48 hours?
Well,
$20.
some of them are rent to buy, but some of them
Yeah.
it seems to be like how good the
Invisible Man
movie
you
is.
could've
If the
bought
movie's really
for that.
good, you
But
can
the
only
movie's
rent it.
$20
But if it sucks,
The
you can buy
movies
it.
don't cost $20 in my town. Now, maybe in New York they cost $20 to go see a movie. But
It
here
should
I
be
can go
like
and see a movie for $8.
See,
It should be
But-
like 10.
but see, like I look at it like I think that it's going to catch on, and I think that they're going to have to kind of offer this going forward because now you're going to have people like when the shit's up, and they're going to get people used to this shit of being able to see movies at home, and especially like kids movies. So like I don't know about you guys, but like I have kids, and
Yeah, that's nice to be able
taking
to
them
go
kids,
on
well,
one
it's
taking a
form.
group of
It's gonna
kids
be-
to the movies, or even your family to the movies nowadays,
It's
is going to
hard.
cost you over $100.
Yeah. Oh
Right.
man,
I
that's
agree.
just for the tickets. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's for
Like,
the tickets.
Yeah.
and then with the food,
That's it.
dude,
And then
we
you add
spend
another
like
$50-$60 for
We're
food.
spending, because it's 9 people in my family. We're spending like $100 on tickets. Then we're
Yeah.
spending like $100 in food. So
That's
it's like
like-
You can't even
$200.
all sit together.
Well, I was,
Hell
I was
no.
a,
It's
I was
hard
a
to.
video,
Sometimes
I
you
was a
gotta
video
switch it up
rental
with the
manager
road.
for about
Heck
10
yeah.
years, right? And when video got going, back in the 80s, they had these rental windows. They originally were like 6 months to a year before they would come out on video. Now, of course, they're down to like maybe 3 months or a couple months.
Like, yeah, 3 to 6
But I
months.
think this will be the death of the video window. I think they'll come out simultaneously, probably in movies, and they're gonna do something now, just like comics books.
I think what
They
they'll
don't
do is
want digital.
Look how quick though.
they
You
don't
can
want
see they
digital.
got it on
the
digital.
comic
Look
book
how
store,
quick.
But
I
they
think
don't
what they'll
want.
do-
They don't want home video to kill the movie theater either.
well,
Yeah,
what they're
well, I
They
doing.
feel
will
like-
release some of these, but I think they'll still be like a month wait.
I think there's going to be a lot of certain titles too, though, that they just don't even throw out to movies.
I
I,
don't
think a
think
lot
that.
more movies are going to start coming VOD now.
Honestly,
I
there's
think
a
that
lot
what
of,
they'll
there's a
do.
lot of movies that don't deserve to go to the movie theater.
Exactly.
When I see those trailers, I'm like, who's going to
Just like
spend
the big corporate. We're gonna just see like Disney, Universal, and or whatever. If
I
there's one
I
more,
think that
the big studio, the big all the other ones VOD.
I think you're going to have a combination of what you said, Dylan, but I also think what you'll do, how they'll differentiate, is that they'll charge more for the digital one.
They
encourage
are.
you. Well, that's
Well,
what
they
I'm
do.
saying. They'll
Those
they'll
movies
up
are
the
like-
price.
They
Those
might even
scale-
go like
They're like
30.
$30,
though.
Yeah.
$40 for a new one just to watch it once. It's
That's what I'm
crazy.
saying. They'll scale it
I
up.
heard it was 48 hours, or is it only 24? I don't know.
Well, yeah,
anyone
but I
who's
mean,
got-
you don't get to keep it. Is my point.
yeah.
No, you got
So-
Then you're like 50 bucks deep once the movie comes out to buy. You're 40.
So
50
they'll
bucks
have some
deep.
analysts sit down and they'll be like, "What's the price point at which it'll be encourage them to go to the physical movie theater? But if they really want to watch it, they can."
Okay, but no, they did try this once before with simultaneous release. They did try this once before, but they had the movies placed at $90, and they were just catering to rich fucks who would have a home theater that want to
But
just
that's what I'm
watch it.
saying. I think that's what they're going to do going forward. Is going to be a really high price point for the VOD till like you hit that window, and then it'll drop down to like.
I think they'll price them this time more for everybody. I think they'll be around $30, probably. I would think.
I think it'll be like that right now.
Yeah.
Until the theaters can open back up. When the theaters open back up, the price on VOD is going to go up, or there will be no point for a theater.
Right. But yeah, I mean, he's right in the fact that I'm one guy. I go pay my $8, but if you got two people you're bringing plus kids plus all the popcorn and soda, that's $150.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So somebody would pay probably $50 for a movie at home.
Easy, or even 100. Like I'm saying, you'd have people or the average movie theater costs about $20 a person. So, let's drop it a little and say 15. So on average, the average family of four will easily pay like 50, 60 bucks for a VOD for 48 hours.
I mean, I would safely say I would wait for the video. I would wait. There's no movie. I'm a huge James Bond fan, but even James Bond or any of this stuff, I'd wait. I can wait.
I can see people though that even people without families, how do you do like UFC fight nights and shit? You'll have people who will pull money together and just watch it at someone's house.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Yeah.
I think that's why they're
That's the
charging
whole
so
thing.
much.
You
I
get
think
what
they're charging so much because they're like, well, you're basically,
you can
if
get
you're
a
going to have
group
5
of
or 6
people.
people buying it, then they're going to go ahead or 5 or 6 people that will go to the movies. In Dylan's case, I think he's got 17 people he's going at once. So like, if you got 17 people going to the movies,
Well,
hey,
I
man,
hope-
a price tag at your house is pretty cheap. You know,
Exactly.
I also hope that if this pandemic is taught
20 bucks is cheap as hell.
when it comes to movies, it's let's not speed along the death of physical media just yet.
Yeah.
Because
exactly.
I could pull my I have a nice 4K TV, and I could pull my 4K disc of Aquaman off the shelf and watch it. But
Yeah.
during a pandemic, when they're telling everybody, "Gee, everything's so overloaded, you better start streaming that movie." And
Oh, yeah.
480p.
That's why I still get physical because
You know-
when the Wi-Fi's fucking up and you got that buffering.
Yeah,
I'll be like, fuck this. I'm throwing a DVD in, no problem. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean that's why Blu-ray. I hope it never truly ever completely
Same.
goes away.
Because I always get like I'm gonna like I get the Star Wars movies, I get all the Marvel movies on Blu-ray, horror movies. So there's certain like I don't buy everything on Blu-ray. I only buy the Marvel, DC.
Yeah, I stopped
Star
buying
Wars
everything
thing.
because I have no
Yeah.
shelf space. But the movies I really
I know I
like,
stopped buying too because I got no shelf
Yeah.
space.
the movies I really like, I buy those. Some movies-
I wanted to buy the new Star Wars movie on
I
Blu-ray,
went
but
down the
I
same
waited.
where I buy physical media. Is this a movie I'm going to watch more than once?
Exactly.
Maybe I'm going to watch more than once or a lot. I buy
If
it.
not,
I'm gonna
just
watch
digital.
once, no.
And that's why I'll just do like digital a lot of
Yeah.
times.
Yeah,
Digital is
that'll be
like all I
great.
do mainly. Digital takes up 90% of my stuff unless I got like a DVD or Blu-ray collection. Like with a horror movie I can't find online or something.
Well, I buy a lot of movies. I buy a lot of movies on iTunes because I have the app on my phone
Yeah.
that
It-
alerts me as soon as a movie goes on sale.
Yeah.
So I can get 4K movies from iTunes for $5. Why not?
On
But-
digital or you actually get the
It goes
whole
down.
thing? Is it digital that way?
What's that?
When you buy it on Apple, is it digital?
What do you mean? Is it digital?
Like, is it do you buy the physical? Is it when it goes on sale? Is it physical or digital?
No,
Like,
it's
Digital download.
That's what. Yeah, digital download. Okay.
Or
Because I don't
stream.
use Apple. I don't really. I think we got Apple for like free for a whole year, Apple TV. But every time I try to use it, I have buffering problems. Like it.
Well, Apple has an app now. You can any platform, Fire Stick, Roku.
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
download the
So
app.
that's what we got. I tried to watch. There was like the Jennifer Aniston show, and there's like problems where every time I would just keep buffering. I'd get buffering problems.
Yeah, so hopefully physical doesn't go away for
Yeah. That's
you can
I
hope
like
for it.
physical, but I
see this
love
being
digital because digital is like, dude, digital is getting
saw-
real hot nowadays.
I saw
Yeah.
that it was already like starting to be the nail in the coffin for traditional media before this whole
Yeah.
COVID shit.
Oh,
And now
DVDs
I
are
think-
about to be
I think
done.
this COVID shit just killed pretty much regular media. It's gonna put most comic book stores out of business.
I pray not, man, because we
Dude,
still need
they're
physical
talking
copies.
based on the news and shit that I've been reading in like the comic book community, like in the news part. There's like on Diamond's website and shit on their interior retailer website. They're talking about like
I mean, I won't,
they're talking about like 70%. They think they're gonna lose of comic book
Wow.
stores.
dude. I won't read nearly as much as the thing.
Well, I
I'll
mean, I
still
think
order-
that's why
I'll
they-
end up ordering trades.
came out with
I'll
that-
end up wanting to order trades, and I'll if I have to read everything digital, it's gonna cut like probably 70% of my books out, like maybe half at least half, because it's like I'll
How
only
they're
read the
screwing
books that
everyone,
I
though,
really,
dude, is they're
really, really
basically-
have a passion for.
How they're screwing everyone, dude, is they're basically telling everyone that there's no cancellation of orders, there's no modification of orders. So they're holding all these people to all the orders and not shipping it, and they're gonna send them like a lump sum bill and a lump sum shipment of inventory all at the same time. So like, how are a lot of these stores supposed to absorb that shit?
Well, I mean, DC
Yeah.
came out yesterday though and said they're extending the return window through July or August, and they said they're looking at a way to circumvent diamonds. So I think that'll change.
Dude, I hope that this puts fucking Diamond out of business. In my opinion, I hope.
Well, I think it
What?
might.
Nah, for real?
I don't know.
Yeah,
about
dude.
that.
I hope that some other distributions, like the people, that this is the pretext that like gets people tired of them, dude. There has to be another, like, for example, what you
It ain't
just
their
mentioned
fault, though.
about DC offering this return window outside of Diamond. Why should retailers accept the fact that, like, instead of being reasonable and acting like in good faith in this situation, that Diamond is basically trying to just be greedy
Mhm.
and put their own customer base out of business? Like, dude, it seems very suicidal, and the reason why the Diamond is like this is because they have a monopoly and you have no choice.
Exactly. They know you have no choice on who to get your shit from.
I hope that enough is enough.
I just
hope
don't
that
think
our
there's gonna be
LCSs
another company to
I
come
hope
out.
that our LCSs don't just sit by and stand for this shit. And they either, if they, there has to be another way. We could just sell back issues and say fuck Diamond. Let Marvel reach out to people and set up some new kind of
Beyond control.
new kind of distribution center. But like,
Man, how are you doing that?
he has. I'm pretty sure you're using OBS, aren't you?
You can.
You
For
can.
that though?
Well, you can use it so
Oh.
that it puts out your stream to your StreamYard.
Yeah.
Like my
My
laptop.
new laptop. I got a
I
new
think
laptop.
if Diamond ends up dropping, right? Like, let's say, I mean, because so far they've been pushing all of their heartache with distribution and price and everything. They've just been pushing it all onto the retailers.
Yep.
Right now, the comic shops are just eating books, eating cost, taking losses. So I wonder if when all this reopens, right, which I don't think it'll be that long. I think it'll be a matter of a couple months probably, but I don't think it'll be, 6 months or a year. So when all this reopens, are they going to then just drop ship every book that
Yes,
they have
that's
ready
what
to
they're
go?
saying. That's what
At
they're
one
saying.
time, that would be way too much. I don't know that they might try to do that, but I think part of the reason that Diamond's saying that they're not shipping books is because the publishers aren't shipping the books to them either. So there's going to have to be some kind of ramp up time where the publishers can produce the books to get them to Diamond for them.
Well,
Diamond.
I think they also have to look at other sources of being able to print these books, because let's face it, you're gonna have such a tremendous backlog of printing, placed on how many different people print these things out for them. Is there one place in Canada that does it?
Like,
I mean, is there that many people that want these? Like, at this point, like when they start back up, do you think that everyone who's a comic collector is going to run to the shop with every dollar that they've saved for the last 2 months
no,
and buy every book that they would have bought if it was on their pull list before?
No,
No.
they're going to buy the ones they need.
Yeah.
again, they're going to lose so many sales of books that people were going to get, but by the time that they come out, people won't realize they're not keys, they're not this, they're not that, they're not even going to buy them. So
Yeah.
like, this is going to have a huge impact on not just the LCS but Diamond.
I agree.
Well, I mean, there are a lot of people that buy them for the story too, and if you buy
Yeah,
them,
but what I'm
you
saying
buy
is
them
that
one.
you have a hold pattern right now. So like the whole thing, and we were just talking about, like one of the primary things that drives comic book collectors is the fear of missing out, and is this like wanting to stay current. And you were just talking about it when you were alluding to why trades were beneficial, and it's because like, what if some of these stories, by the time that things get printed again, like people don't care about them no more?
Yeah.
What if some of the characters like that they were just launching like Punchline and shit, now all the shit's going to get delayed? What if by the time that they restart shit, like that people don't give a fuck no more? Like you got to strike while the iron's hot, and you got to move like on your momentum. So I feel like that what's going to happen with this is that you have like momentum is just going to completely get lost. You're going to have a backlog of like books that are going to kind of try to flood the market. And it's going to be a weird time for both whoever, like the LCSs do survive this shit, are going to be the ones left with this huge amount of debt and huge amount of stock that they just have to push because they're not even going to have space for it.
Let me let's back up a second and let's look at this. I know that when this does get all started up, the people I'm going to give my money to first are the independent guys over DC and Marvel.
Facts.
But what if
Yeah.
what if the I mean, let's face it, independents are kind of where it's at now. DC and Marvel are kind of slipping a little bit. What if the independent producers start selling things exclusively through their websites and other methods of doing it? What if they say we're going to find our own way of doing it?
I mean, to me, that would seem like the logical step for all. Like, you should be able to go to like Mike Mayhew's, Greg Horns, all these people, they already have their sites. Why shouldn't you just be able, when they have a cover, you just go by the cover?
Well, I'm not even talking about the cover. I'm talking about the book in general. Like, why can't you go to Boom Studio and Aftershocks webpage and buy the book? Some of them you can.
Well, what I'm saying
Yeah,
is,
you can. Dynamite you can.
what I'm saying is,
you can too.
what I'm saying is to extend on that, meaning whoever the cover artist, right, that's doing the cover, you have distribution. Each of the companies have distribution deals with whoever the cover artist is, meaning like Marvel has a distribution deal with Mike Mayhew, J. Scott Campbell, whoever. And when they come out with their covers, you just buy them directly from whoever the fuck makes the cover.
Well, the only problem with that is us little guys that don't buy. I don't buy for cover. I'm not going to pay $100 for Mike Mayhew cover.
But so what
I
I'm
want to
saying
pay
is,
$4 for a book.
but what I'm saying is even the cover A, even the cover that becomes the cover A or the standard trade, that is made by an artist. So that person just sells that trade on their website.
I just don't see why the publisher itself can't sell these on their website.
Well, because then I think you run into like the IP issue with creators. So like people like Mike Mayhew.
Oh, they can still sell their alternate covers on their own sites, but for all the covers A's and cover B's, just put them on
Because
the
then Marvel, because then they would become a customer, meaning they would have to buy some of these covers from the people that weren't people that they would directly control just to offer them. You get what I'm saying? Like Marvel would have to buy covers from Mike Mayhew or J. Scott Campbell or people who, like, if they wanted to say they offered that cover, they would have to buy it from the person who made it.
Just
Well, right now, the opposite right now. So like when an artist wants to do a cover or they want to have an exclusive cover, don't they have to pay Marvel for the rights for the interior?
Marvel pays them like a flat like commission price for X, Y, and Z. Like if it's a Virgin, blah blah blah, and then they get some of the deals they get percentage too based on like the amount of books that sell.
But then like what about like the store exclusive, like a Frankie's Comics or something like that, or Unknown Comics, or what happens with those?
Those are usually like a three-way deal where what they pay Marvel for licensing for the book, and then they commission the artist. but then they recoup that on the sale of how many ever the run is.
Right. And they charge more, of course, per book.
Correct. So that's how they make back their cost, is that they're licensing the book from Marvel, and then they're commissioning the cover, and then they're just basically combining that and selling it in a package price
Okay.
for a profit. That's why you have all these like comic book stores that can like offer that shit, is because all they got to do is reach out to Marvel and be like, hey, instead of giving me a blank variant.
Well, plus we got to figure too, some of these smaller publishers don't have the infrastructure to handle shipping their own books.
It's
Well,
all
and some of them don't have the money
It's all
to.
about the money.
Yeah.
Dollar bills, y'all.
Some of them don't have the money to pay Marvel to like license a title either, because I'm sure that the price varies based on like how popular the title is. If it's someone like Venom, I'm sure that the money is to even be able to get the book, to get the cover, to sell it is prohibitive to entry. So that's why you only have like Comic Elites, Unknown Comics, and a few people who are able to offer a exclusive cover.
Well, they want to control it too, because if you have too many options out there, then you're going to water down your
The
sales
brand,
for
yeah.
the ones that they want to have. You know, some guy that barely pays anything comes in with the most fire cover of that book, and now that's the one. Plus, it's probably a limited print run, so now people are going crazy for that and paying crazy money, and then Marvel's not seeing any bump. So,
Yep.
I don't know.
It's a double-edged sword, man.
Yep, for sure.
Well, I mean, I think hopefully within the next, this week sometime, I mean, they should at least start saying something. DC's about the only one that said anything. Marvel just said we're not offering digitally, and that's it. And that's what most of the smaller publishers have said too, but we'll see what happens, I guess.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, man, to see. I'm more worried to see how it's going to impact like all content being released in general. So just like, are they going to be able to recover and keep people interested? Because like comic books, like what we're saying, was a dying like hobby and shit due to like the way.
Well, and that's what this guy in the article I read when I started the broadcast, he said the same thing: is can they afford to have? For us, no, we'll always go back to comic books. We'll always go buy them. But for the average person that was kind of just loosely into it, if they stop for 8 to 16 weeks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You could lose all. Like I'm saying, is because it's all about momentum, and so far they've been building since like the MCU. They've been capitalizing and building and gaining momentum to the point where you're seeing like superhero shit everywhere. Like,
Yeah.
Now, if this shit dies down for long enough that people have short attention spans, especially Americans. So like.
Right.
When something else catches their attention and it's a new flavor of the week, you better hope you can get the attention back. So
Right, you're not gonna have them in the comic book stores. You're not gonna have them in the movies, and you're not gonna have them on TV either, because those things are gonna stop.
I mean, the only good thing about this whole shutdown is it's affecting everyone. So it's not just
That's true.
the comic book community. So
Right.
it's going to be this desert for everyone. So we're hoping that when we come out on the other side of the desert, that people are still looking at comics for a glass of water.
Yeah, I mean, the only one I don't think it's affecting although too much is the music industry, because CDs are already pretty much dead, and digital is where it's at for music. So I think new music will always be coming out. But everything else is going to have a hard time.
Yeah, man. Like I said, we were already in the last throes, I think, of traditional media, and I think that this is just going to exacerbate and speed along the
Well,
demise of.
fortunately, we all have a shitload of books to read. I know this week, it seems like since I've been locked in my house, I've read less. So I got to start, kicking up the gear and start reading some of the stuff I need to read.
Well, you got to remember too, like a lot of it is escapism, right? So, you're reading books for fantasy, and you're reading books for if you're not going to work and you're not getting
Nothing to escape
all
from.
day, then you don't need to relax when you get home. You're already relaxed,
Right. And we live stream too much. But I think we're also saying the fact that, given a couple more weeks of this, people aren't going to have the money, disposable income anymore to buy comics.
Man, this was one of the points that I touched on. I was doing a gaming podcast yesterday, and we were talking about this whole virus and versus the economy thing. And I was trying to explain to them that I was like, okay, you have all these people now who are basically like, yeah, just let's stay home for as long as it takes and, whatever. And I'm like, but at what point does the financial and economic damage become more than the damage from the virus? Meaning, like, at what point are more people going to die from starvation because they didn't get money or food or couldn't work that would have died from the virus? And then, like, one we know is for sure, like, if people don't go to work, we know for sure they're not going to eat. We know for sure they're going to die. Versus you might catch a disease, and even if you catch it, you might die.
That's tough, though. I mean, you're talking about something that's going to happen. You're talking like if this goes 3-4 months.
The thing is,
no, dude, I'm talking about like
is that
if
we haven't even seen the top. I think about 2-3 weeks you'll start seeing the top of where this is going to be.
Yeah.
And people have
here's my
10,000 people are dead in New York, which is coming. It's going to be a different story.
But here's what I'm saying. It's like, I think, and this is like statistics. I've been looking into this shit. So like, you have about 46, almost half of people in America, right, who live paycheck to paycheck, meaning the amount of money they have in their savings and shit like that is they don't even have, let's say, 2 paychecks worth of savings. Okay. Now, what I'm saying is if this shit doesn't clear up and an economy isn't going back strong within, I would say within at most 60 days, meaning if we're in this shutdown condition, I would say for 45 plus days,
and we will be.
I don't think we will be able to recover from it unless the government.
Well, they're not supposed to be charging people
unless the government
work.
Unless the government basically comes out and is handing out monopoly money,
which they supposedly are.
But that $1,200 ain't gonna even cut it for like 45 to 60 days because
I thought they were debating it between like 1,000 and 3.
Yeah, but so far it's like $1,200.
No, you get $1,200 in about 3 weeks, but the problem is for most people that's already gone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's gone before. That's already gone right now.
Bills without groceries.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's gone right now. And what do you mean in another 30 days? Like I'm saying, this shutdown stays for another 30 days unless they're just going to keep the printing presses on, sending out money, meaning what the average income would be. Then we're in for
and you can't even this money they just did now. You can't keep on printing money. The economy is just going to collapse.
Yeah. So I'm saying, like, I don't know, man. I think that they're doing just as much damage with economically now as what we could, like, the death toll.
I don't know. It's like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Yeah, and I think that some people are more scared of like getting sick, and they aren't like as an adult comprehending the economic impacts, and people are more scared of getting sick than dying of like starvation. But either way, you die.
Well, the bottom line is if the government didn't sit in their hands for 60 days, this could have been done a lot earlier. But unfortunately,
or if people would just stay the fuck inside.
And the other problem is that, and I don't want to get political here, but while these hospitals, they're all owned by big businesses now, corporations. Healthcare is for profit, so they penny pinched all these hospitals, and they don't have the stuff they should need, and that's the problem. Yeah,
I mean that's America in general.
And people just won't stay the fuck inside. That's a big
America. We're bare minimum. We the bare minimum, loose and fast. Like, what do we got to barely do to get by? What's the bare minimum?
Yeah, people that they've never experienced nothing like this.
Because we're all about money.
This is bullshit. This is bullshit.
We're all about money. Why would we want to pay to have some like equipment sit somewhere that we're not going to use? That's how we think. So like, if it ain't being used, we're like, that's a waste. Why would we just buy? But a smart person would say, hey, there might be an epidemic sometime. You might want to have like 100,000 fucking face masks, 100,000 ventilators just sitting in storage somewhere in case some shit breaks out, just in case.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't make it all, like, and just flood the market with it constantly, but the government have reservoirs of supplies.
They need. That's the problem. So
I'll say that it's the biggest letdown in our government because why weren't they prepared? Like I'm saying, you telling me that there was no playbook for a fucking in the year 2020 for a fucking pandemic breaking out? Like, you guys had no playbook of what you were supposed to do.
Man,
are we really saying that now?
There's an actual playbook, but unfortunately, the person in charge decided to say he wanted to
on Audible.
own one. So.
You know, it's rare. I gotta go, but I'm just gonna say this: it is rare that any natural phenomenon. To me, this is as close to that as it gets.
Yeah, pretty much.
It may not be a hurricane necessarily, but it's pretty natural.
It's the whole damn world.
Yeah, it's rare that any natural phenomena makes a government look good. I'm just gonna throw that out there. It
Right.
always makes it look bad.
Oh, yeah.
Hurricanes, floods, pandemics,
Why weren't you prepared?
anything that biblical makes government look like it can't do crap, like
Yeah.
it should have done but can't do. And that's just the way. And that's the way it was across the world.
It's out of their
I'm not saying
control,
that our
though.
government did better or was more prepared or should have been. They probably should have been. But
Probably.
the fact of the matter is that all that costs money and nobody wants to pay for it until it's important to them. And none of this is important to anybody until somebody starts dying.
Get sick. Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Hindsight 2020, and people are like, "Well, the government let us down." Like, no, we vote for these motherfuckers. If we would have made this shit important, believe me, we'd have the supplies. But no one gave a shit because it didn't. It didn't affect them. Like,
Yeah,
that's-
you know what you haven't heard in like 6 weeks? Global warming. Nobody gives a shit about that.
Yeah.
Well,
You know?
because actually, the pandemic has helped the environment. The environment has gotten better
naturally.
because people are staying in the house.
Yeah, that's true.
So
hey, one from Mother Earth.
This one
Yeah.
spread as much if people would have just
that's
stayed
true.
in the house.
The Earth is going to be fucking rocking, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like more like 40, like 30% were going nuts, absolutely ape shit, buying all the toilet paper. Then another 30% are going just like in the middle. Another 30% is fucking just like fuck it, who gives a shit, this is bullshit. And then that
Other 10%
10%
are dead.
the
So
government and the rich ones who just
Yeah,
got
really.
not
The other
prepared.
10%'s dying.
You know what? Hey, we fucking screwed them all. Why? We're sitting on the biggest stockpile of fucking reusable paper anybody fucking ever has.
Yeah.
Fucking magazines, baby. Let's get going.
Fuck it.
oh shit. Like a bus.
All right, guys. I gotta hop.
Let me tell you, I got a box of Valiant books I'm willing to get rid of cheap.
They're all Turok number ones, man.
Listen, I gotta go, guys. It's good to see
Peace
you.
out, Bubs.
Chat again
Bub.
later. Thanks, Carmen, for
Good to
you,
see you as always, boss.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably shut this one down. We're almost at 40, an hour and 45 minutes. I have to get my parents cook some dinner. So
No worries, boss. I'm about
no
to get
problemo.
I got some reviews I gotta do.
for
I got work tonight.
what you got anything coming up?
Who, me?
I'm gonna do. I'll have a couple reviews probably coming out. No live shows. Go check out my boy Hero and the Kid. He's doing a live show with Bueller. But I'll have a couple reviews coming tonight. I got Hotel, the AWA book. I'm doing a review for that, and then I'm gonna try to edit a couple videos so that I can put out some stuff the next couple days, since I won't have my weekly video coming out because I can't get no books. So I'm gonna put out some reviews in the meantime.
And how about you, Meta? You got any shops or anything coming up?
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing a midnight market. I'm probably gonna be doing it one night a week. So this week until shit gets going back normal. I'm also gonna be trying to meet up with Dylan, and we're gonna be trying to do our terror show. So when I can work around his schedule,
Maybe I can jump. I'd like to jump on one of those with you guys. I love a good horror.
Yeah,
and then I also,
we'd love to have you.
yeah, for sure, man. And then I also am coming. I'm on Chad RCG, and he said he's doing something similar to this. So I'm also gonna be doing some show where we're gonna do like fantasy football, but with like comics. And then every so often we'll do like a prize drawing for whoever's like. It'll be just like fantasy football, but for comics. And we'll give you like we'll give you like a pool of money. And then we'll use like Go Collect or GPA or something to buy the books. And then every so often we'll do like a tracker, and whoever's in the lead, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Most points or most money or biggest bank or whatever wins. And then it'll be like a game we playing with each other of like fantasy flipping. So
Hell yeah. Hey, my bad about the damn Terror Tuesday though, because I've been doing the third shift, so I end up sleeping the whole damn day. So
oh man, you good,
I
bro?
don't want to like have you like
We all had dude. This
like,
been
do it and not show up is all because I work Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and I work like 9 to 7. And
With
a
me too,
lot of those
man.
days, I end up waking up at like 8 o'clock, 8:30, and I haven't even been doing my what's new this week Monday.
yeah, I know for sure, bro. Trust
So
me.
I'm trying to figure out my schedule though and get better.
That's
at
why I've been giving
waking
you
up.
time, man. And plus, I've been having all this shit going on with the
Yeah.
whole COVID shit and getting back from C2E2, and so
Oh, really?
ain't
Well,
no big.
you know, I'm still trying to do that terror though, because I know we can get a couple more people. We got Scarpad, Chris. I've been finding more people that are into horror since I do the, you know, Fright Night every couple.
Yeah,
weeks.
man, just reach out to me. We can get a little panel together, and we
Yeah,
can
we'd be
possibly
having an extra spot sometimes, so get you in there and watch one with us. You know,
bet.
if you're down, you know.
Yeah, I'm down.
Don't get Batcave though. He'll suggest stuff like Insidious.
Yeah, I know. Fucking, but yeah, Terry. That's why I was like, "Fuck." I don't know if we'll have to do a different day for Terror Tuesday.
Yeah, we can
I love
just
that
do a
name.
different day, man. Just tell me when your like most free day and your like your most comfortable day is for you to do, and we'll reschedule for that day.
Yeah. Because I work. That's the last night I work is Tuesday, but I just end up sleeping all day Wednesday. I like end up waking up by the time Perry does our Wednesday show. So I was like, maybe when I get a little bit more comfortable, and I can maybe try to set an alarm because Hero and the Kid want to do a show with me Monday. So I was like, give me a couple weeks. Let me set an alarm and see if I can wake up like an hour or two early. But when I got work, I'm just so fucking lazy. I wake up and I just end up laying in bed until I got work, you know. So
yeah, I feel you, bro.
I'm trying to navigate it and figure it out because
let me know, man.
Priority.
It's
You know what I'm saying? I was so mad too because I was like, dude, I don't want it to fuck up. I fucked up my show with you, fucked up my show with Perry on Tuesday. Actually, I fucked up 2 shows on Tuesday. Mine and yours and mine on Terror Tuesday, and then the Tuesday show I do right after with Perry. So it fucking sucks, man.
It'll come back together.
We'll wrap it up.
We'll get it, though. We'll get it. Don't worry. I ain't forgetting, man.
So hang out for a second before after we end the broadcast. But
Yeah.
watch the show. Hopefully next Sunday, I'll be back at 2:00 my regular time, and we'll catch you all then. Take it
All
easy. Stay
Take
safe.
it easy, y'all.
Keep it comics.
Have a great Sunday night.
Sunday fun day.